The UK has reported zero COVID-19 deaths for the first time since July last year. This comes as the country continues to face rising cases of the Delta variant. On the same day, UK reported 3,000 new cases of COVID-19 for the seventh time in a week. This has posed uncertainty on Prime Minister Boris Johnson's plan to lift restrictions on June 21st. On Monday, the UK reported one COVID-19 death. UK Health Secretary Matt Hancock has called zero COVID deaths a milestone and good news. He also said that the vaccine rollout, which began in December, is clearly working. However, he urged people to remain cautious as the COVID cases continue to rise. In an address to the Parliament, Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon said that it would be wrong to ignore warning of a third wave in the UK. Sturgeon said that the Delta variant, first discovered in India, is spreading faster than the previous ones.
Considerable downside that we face just now is the Indian or April 02 variant, which was renamed last night by the World Health Organization as Delta. This variant is spreading faster than previous variants of the virus, and we now believe that it accounts for well over half of our new daily cases. Because of that, Scotland's R number is almost certainly above 1 right now. And as we know from past painful experience, that makes our situation highly precarious. Indeed, many public health experts are warning that the UK could, and I stress could, now be at the start of a third wave of the virus. And obviously, it would be wrong to completely ignore that warning.
Britain has been working on its plan to unlock its economy. The government had imposed a tough lockdown in January when the country faced a second wave. The UK has reported 4.49 million cases of COVID-19 so far. The country has administered 2 vaccine doses to more than 25 million people, which is almost half of its adult population. Data collected by the government says that since the start of the pandemic, 127,782 people in the UK have died within 28 days of a positive test. This is the worst death toll in the whole of Europe. Experts are concerned that the UK could face a third wave of the pandemic. Now we are being joined by our correspondent, Ollie Barrett from London. Ollie, for the UK, while it is a relief to be able to announce no official daily deaths today, reports say the Delta variant still poses a dire threat. Can you tell us a bit more about this?
Yes, ministers are very much welcoming the news that 0 deaths were recorded over the last 24-hour period here in the UK. You mentioned the fact that there was only one previous day in the pandemic in July of last year when that was the case. Well, actually, the UK's changed the way it calculates deaths since then to make it only counting as a COVID-19 fatality if it comes within 28 days of a positive test. And what that means is that on that basis, actually, it's the first day in the entire pandemic since March of last year that 0 deaths have been recorded. So clearly very good news indeed, and ministers do say that it's a sign that the vaccines are working. They also urge caution though for a couple of reasons. One is that you do see, as we all know now, a lag in terms of hospitalisations and deaths when cases begin to rise. So the fact that we've recorded 0 deaths over one 24-hour period doesn't mean that the UK is out of the woods, and that the rise in cases we are seeing would feed through later in the process than yesterday. And we're also seeing, as you say, that rise in cases day by day, and a rise in cases particularly of the Delta variant first discovered in India. And that is why some scientists are urging a delay to Boris Johnson's easing of lockdown, which is planned further on June the 21st. The government saying no decisions have been made at this point. They're still looking at the data to work out exactly how much the link between cases and hospitalisations and deaths has been broken. Because if cases were to continue to rise, I think the government would feel relatively comfortable about that if hospitalisations and fatalities don't rise at the same time because of the vaccination rollout programme.
Absolutely. And on the vaccination front, many people under the age of 50 are yet to receive their jabs in the UK. And several reports say the vaccination among ethnic minorities is lagging behind average. What's the latest on the government's vaccine drive?
The latest is that today we may well, I think we will actually get over the line of a significant milestone, which would be 75% of the adult population having been given one dose of a vaccine. The last 24-hour period, when the figures came in, we're now at 74.9% of the adult population who've had one jab. So we will nudge over that line today. As I say, a significant milestone. And in terms of people who've had both doses of a vaccine, we're nearly up to half the adult population. We're seeing several 100,000 doses being given out a day. There is some expectation in government that that actually might accelerate in the coming weeks as well. And younger people are being vaccinated as that rollout continues apace. But it really is a race now between the vaccine rollout and the spread of the variant first discovered in India, the Delta variant. One of the concerns from scientists has been that it does appear to be spreading more among young people, and it does appear to be spreading more rapidly than previous variants that have been here in the United Kingdom. So that's one reason for the concern among some scientists. But there's also increasing pressure on Boris Johnson to continue with his unlocking plans from MPs in his own Conservative Party. They say the vaccines are working, the hospitalisations are low, the fatalities are very, very low indeed now as well. They say they see no reason at this point to delay the further unlocking of the English economy, which would see things like nightclubs reopening for the first time in many, many months.
So hopefully some positive signs there from London. Thank you, Ollie Barrett, for your analysis.